that
Yes,
help?
please. Yeah, because so when a message comes in, you get automatically muted. I noticed that.
Yeah, so let
So
me.
now will it? Yeah.
I'm gonna be on flight mode because I'm seeing phone calls coming in, and yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. So we start, ne?
Start,
We
eh?
start.
Are you
My
guys
friend,
good?
you ready? Yes, we good.
Okay. Let's take it away.
Okay.
Last call.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first official episode of Sips and Chats with myself, Ursula, and my girl, Miss Connie Mabaso. We've got a very interesting slash inspirational, wonderful guest joining us today for our first episode. And she goes by the name of Kwanele Nyawo. And she is a co-founder of Khulu Fine Wine, along with her partner and co-founder Neil van Staden. Kwanele is going to be having a conversation with us today for our first episode. We're going to be getting to know a little bit more about her and what she does. So, yeah, I guess I'm Mikey Wani. Of course, I have to have my girl, my sister with me, Miss Connie Mabasa. Hey, friendo, how are you doing?
Hi, my friend. I'm good and cold today. What an
Yeah.
unexpected weather, considering
Mm,
it was summer, like full blown spring yesterday, you know.
dude.
So we are switching like that. One day it's spring, the next back to winter. But I'm good,
Mm,
I'm happy, and I'm excited here. We are sipping and chatting with Kwanele Nyawo, one of the voices of strength that we want to have on our show. We want to hear
mm.
her story. So Kwanele, kunjani sis wami?
Ngiyaphila, unjani Constance? Nawe Ursula, niyaphila nani?
I
Siyaphila,
see a pin.
Yes. Hey, Kwanele, what are you sipping on before we start?
I mean, since you mentioned the weather
Yes.
in chat, I might as well sip on one of my favorites. Um,
Yes.
is our Khulu Fine Wine Shiraz. It's called Dumagud,
Mm.
which means famous in far places.
Mm, 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 mm,
Wow.
mm, mm,
It's
mm,
100
mm.
Shiraz, and it's perfect for this weather.
Mm,
Definitely,
mm.
I second you on that one. Kwanele, can I just teleport myself now and join you? 'Cause I'm
Can I
here
be a plus
sipping
one
on
friend?
tea. My friend, what are you sipping on?
I know this weather is dictating terms, so I'm sipping on my coffee right
Nice.
here. Mm.
I had to represent. I mean, I don't have a coffee or a tea line, so
Yes,
might
yes.
as well sip on what
No,
we
the
do
wine will do.
at home.
You
Why?
sip on what we do. I love that. I love that phrase, like how you phrased it. So you basically are your brand. You are Kulu Fine Wine.
Mm.
So Gwanele, can you please tell us?
She's even wearing the t-shirt.
Um, yes, I would like to see like pictures of that. Can you please send us so we can also share to our listeners?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So, Wanele, can you please tell us your story as the voice of strength? Ufike njani where you are? Like, who is Wanele, and how did you achieve what you have achieved right now? And the effort you've put in. Like, we want to hear that story. Please, our listeners are probably waiting and they want to know. And there's probably someone out there who's also planning, but they don't even know where to start. So just
Mm.
briefly tell us about yourself. Who is Gwanele? Where is Gwanele coming from? And your journey in um, your business.
Um, all right. Thank you for that, Constance. So I'm Kwanele Nyawo, rural Zulu girl. I was born in a place called Ingwavuma, which is in northern KZN. Isemaqaqasini, like it's very, very rural, very peaceful, very
Mm,
different. I'm
mm,
sure like it. a word from my sister, which is like, Emma Kotwasini.
Emakwasini.
Rural. I grew up in rural KZN. So I was born in Guavuma. Then my mom moved us to Ladysmith, where I spent most of my childhood. Then went to boarding school, and then eventually made my way to Johannesburg, where I went to varsity and found my first job. In terms of wine, I've always loved wine, and for the longest time, I'd been trying to get into the wine industry, but didn't have any know-how, didn't have any friends in the industry, didn't know anyone who had their own wine brand, and didn't know anyone who looked like me who had their own wine brand. So it was a dream. It's one of those things like, oh, one day I'll own a yacht. Oh, one day I'll have my own wine brand. I did not think that it would become a reality until I met my business partner some years ago on a crazy Zoom call. In terms of getting into the wine space, it's got its challenges. It's also got its rewards. I feel like a lot of times people sometimes see the nice part of it. They see the event, they see the wine, they see all the glitz and the glam, without understanding that there's more to it than glam. And there's so much that can be learned in the wine industry and other industries alike, and there's space for diversity, there's space for color, there's for women in these different environments. So when I left corporate, and then I met my business partner, then I decided I wanted to go into the wine business. It was something that I'd always wanted to do. But it was only when certain circumstances, really sad circumstances, actually led me starting my own wine business. It wasn't all happy at the yeah.
So, I hear you talk about it having been that dream that you're like, oh, one day, but you never really imagined that you would actually get to the space. And I'm really curious about like, what was that one thing that just motivated you? And you also spoke about the various challenges. I'm curious to know, like, how do you navigate those challenges, especially in this competitive space? So, like, in essence, basically, I just want to know what motivated you to just be like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And when you face these challenges, how do you navigate?
I feel like, firstly, what motivated me and what really made me go for it is I had nothing to lose. I had a job to go back to. I had no strict parents to say you can do this, you can't do that. Partner, it was just me. A boyfriend at the time would be like, no, you need to do this and you need to do that. I didn't have all of that. It me, and I was like, okay, I've got a little bit of money in the bank, from my savings. Let me see what do I want to do. And when I left corporate, it was COVID. So there were not a lot of out there. There were those intermittent lockdowns and things like that. And I was just like, I want to do something that I enjoy. I want to do something that I love, something I won't be waking up and doing every day.
Yeah.
For me. And I was like, there's so much turmoil in the world. There's people dying. There's so much negativity in the world. And with the time that I have, let me use it wisely. Something that I love. And it was wines, because when my business partner and I met, we when we finally met in person, and he's like, if you had to grow anything or plant anything or do anything, what would you do? And I said, I'd grow grapes and I'd make wine. If I had to do anything, that is, and that was that, and it's been no looking back since then. So what was the second part of your question?
Challenges. How do you navigate the challenges that you come across?
Sure. I mean, I kick, I scream, I cry.
The realness.
Because
Yes.
I kind of censor myself.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
And in between as well. I'm kidding. I firmly rooted in my belief in a higher power, that
Yes.
a force that is far greater.
Mm,
And
mm,
when I am challenged and
mhm,
my mental capacity cannot provide me with the answers that I want or that I need at the time, I
mm, mm,
still and I pray, call my sister 100, 200 times, and my brother. Um,
Yep. Yep.
mm,
they
mm,
my support system. They're the
mm,
I
Mm.
remember on Monday this week. I was just saying goodbye to my sister and I hug her and then I just start crying and I'm
mm.
about you.
Wow.
Family is my everything, and
Mm,
Mm.
they're the ones that encouraged me to
mm,
business. And they said, "But this is what you've always loved. You're always at wine tastings. You're always reading about
mm,
this. Why don't you just go put both feet in and go for it?"
Mm.
And decided to go for it. So there are lots of challenges. Trust me, all day, every day, there's challenges.
Mm.
You need to.
mm,
My brother has a quote that he loves, and it says, "We must
mm,
embrace pain. We must embrace pain and
mm,
Mm.
mm,
fuel for our journey.
mm.
Ooh.
Wow.
Challenges as fuel, as the things that are going to propel you forward. You
Mm.
then
Mm.
look differently, and I ask myself most days when I'm sane and normal. I ask, what is this trying to teach me? Like when I'm not being
Yes.
dramatic, I'm not being, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I ask
Yeah.
myself,
Yes.
what am I trying to learn here? What is this
Mm.
Mm.
lesson
Yes.
teach me?
Yes.
And I fight with myself and I'm like, oh, this lesson, I keep being hit with the same stick. Clearly I'm not
Yeah.
learning a lesson
Mm.
to learn. And sometimes you come up with answers and you're like, okay, this is the lesson that I'm meant to learn, and it's actually not the lesson you're meant to learn. So then you get
Mm.
Mm.
hits again and you're like, oh Lord. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
you have to learn how to self-regulate. You have to learn how to motivate
Mm.
yourself and pull yourself towards yourself, because when you run a business and it's your vision and it's your dream, only you
Mm.
know what you want.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You can have the best motivational speakers and have the best
Mm.
cause and a great support system, but if
Mm.
you do not know how to self-regulate, if you do not know
Mm.
to pull yourself by the bootstraps and say, listen, this needs to be done, you're not going to get
Yes.
those
Yeah.
challenges
Mm.
are going to hit you like a
Mm.
wave,
Mm.
and you're not going to be able to get up.
Mm.
Mm.
So the challenges are learning curve, and the
Yeah. Yeah.
you you face and defeat, the more challenges that the more challenges that you will have to,
Have.
and
Mm.
Mm. Mm.
it doesn't get easier, you just get better.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
I
so.
definitely hear that. And I am taking notes for my own personal journey. So
Same
thanks.
here.
Like just like a free workshop of what to expect in terms of business and how to carry yourself. I really
Mm.
love that. I really
Mm.
love how you speak about embracing pain, because pain demands to be
Mm.
felt. And if you do not want to
Mm.
feel me, I will come out in many other ways and I will mess things up. So I really, really needed to hear that. Would like it's very important to have thick skin. Do not expect it to be smooth sailing. And the question
Yes.
really is,
Yes.
how badly do you want it? And let that keep pushing you
Mm.
and motivating you. And I love the fact
Mm.
that it's so important to appreciate the support systems we have. And you speak
Yes.
of your relationship with that higher power. I feel like,
Mm.
you know
Mm.
what?
Mm.
Thanks. I
Mm.
really could have paid a ticket. Like I really would have paid 500 rands for those tickets, but it's you
Yes.
know what? Let's roll with it. Like, you speak about these challenges and you emphasize the realness of your environment. Can you
Yes.
name one instance as a boss doing her thing, navigating in this space, that one instant that really tested your resilience and how you came out of it? Because I'm not, as you're saying, there've been many.
Mm. Mm.
I
There
Mm.
know.
have been many, and I mean, like, I'm a brown skinned girl. um
Mm,
Yeah.
this one occasion, I don't think I'll ever forget that day as long as
mm,
and there I am. I'm in the winelands at a meeting, and
Mm.
mm,
the people that I'm meeting decide to speak Afrikaans. I do understand Afrikaans. I did Afrikaans at school, but like I left school 20 years ago, so I'm not.
Like,
And they just went on in Afrikaans, knowing that and I speak better English than Afrikaans. I just responded in Zulu.
oh,
How
yeah.
siyabonga.
Them as being
Siyabonga.
dealt. Oh, I said, you know
What?
what?
I responded. I've responded. I, I said what I, and I'm not going to repeat myself. They got it. And who do you like? Who do you think?
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
You do not want to engage with me in a language that I can understand. You want to engage in a language that is not a business language.
Yes, yes.
As far as I know, the only business language in SA. So if we're going to converse, can we converse in English? They were really upset. And it was blown out of proportion, I'd say. However, I
Wow.
drove my point across. And the point didn't mess with me. And you're not going to treat me badly just because I am who and what I am. Last time, and the stunts. I mean, today we get along famously. They do words here and there, which is great. But first, we converse in English.
Yo, I fully respect that.
They don't understand Zulu, and I don't fully understand Afrikaans.
Yes.
You know, I respect that.
Respect.
I mean, it's like there's always been the saying, and I think sometimes, when they say choose your battles, I always want to pride myself in somebody who chooses their battles, even in a position where my sister's always the one to be like, okay, I'm the sister that fights. So she there was a point where we were discussing this situation. She was like, if I was there, I would have stepped up and I would have handled the situation. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, sometimes I fight, but I always want to make sure that it's really worth it. And for most of the times, or in other spaces, I always have this thinking: if you cannot accommodate me, do not expect me to participate. But then what happens when you're in a space where you're like, okay, this is my journey, this is my path, and you come across these challenges? What you did was say, you know what? I am here. In all of my I
And I'm
amness,
not going.
yeah, I am here. And I just love how that just inspired or manifested such I'm sure, a beautiful relationship today, where people can actually respect one another and
Respect.
know who
Yes.
you are and what
Respect.
you're made of. I love that. I love that.
And I mean, it's one of my favorite quotes by Stephen Covey: begin with the end in mind. This is how I want us to continue. I want us to conversate in English when we have meetings, because I know how to articulate myself better in English as opposed to Afrikaans. So I don't start something that I won't be able to manage going forward. So let's begin with the end in mind. This is how we conversate. You will not put me in a corner. You me from meetings where you're going to speak in a language that I don't understand. That's not how we're going to continue here.
I really like that one, Leo. So you remind me of a saying, Guti, you teach people how they treat you.
Right.
Yeah, Bona. So from like hearing your story and what happened, it takes me back to that lesson. Guti, you teach people how to treat you. But first you need to know who you are.
Yeah.
Yes. And be solid on that, not compromise.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And being in such a competitive space as a woman, I'm sure the challenges are quite different. I'm curious, Kwanele, to know about, like, how has you being a woman in this space influenced the way you run business and the way you produce your craft?
I feel like, for me, I'm a woman, and well, as you can see, I'm sensitive being. I'm I'm also quite sensitive, and I always try to treat my staff how I want to be treated. So my team, the people that I work with, I always want to lead with softness for the most.
Yeah.
I want them to know that they are dealing with a woman. I don't try to be the strong
Wow.
character.
Okay.
And I'm
Mm.
out into the vineyards with my skirt or my dress, and I want to take pictures,
Mm.
ask all these questions. I know some
Mm.
get annoyed and they're like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "No, but what about this and what about that?"
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to behave like a man. I don't want my
Mm,
to feel like Kwanele could be a man. No, I'm a woman.
mm,
Um, and with my team, if their kids are not feeling well, take the rest of the day off. Do what you need to do. I understand those
mm,
issues. I know that there are men that are sensitive and that understand certain,
mm,
like, okay, it's that time of the month or it's whatever. I try to be as good as I can. I try to be as nice
Mm.
as I can. Not ridiculously nice and a walkover, but I try to be
Yeah.
understanding because
mm,
I know that my guys put in the extra work when I
mm,
they will work extra hours for me. They will do certain favors for me because they know
mm,
that if the shoe was on the other foot, I would do the same. So I try
yes.
to keep them as
Mm.
well as I can. I'm a caring
Mm.
I'm a caring boss. Um,
Yeah.
I care. How are you feeling? How are you doing? What's going on with the
Mm.
kid, husband?
Mm.
Are you
Oh.
Mm.
the boyki ready for the rugby tomorrow or whatever? Those sort of things. And
Mm,
Mm.
mm,
with that, I lead as a person that cares. I lead as a person that loves,
Mm.
and that's who
mm.
I am. And regardless of how big the organization gets one day, I hope that I can still maintain that and
Oh,
still
yes.
be a
Mm.
person that still gives that personal touch and sends those,
Mm, mm,
you know. And I'm like that even with my clients. I try to
Mm.
keep up with birthdays and things, just so
mm,
got a very personal relationship.
mm,
You
Yeah.
know,
mm.
cards so that you add a personal touch because
I
Wow.
love that. A
I
woman's
love that.
touch.
That's your
You
woman's touch.
know? Yeah.
Embracing being a woman and not trying to be, behave like a man in order to make it.
yeah.
We always
Mm.
have this misconception that in order to make it into such an industry or male-dominated industry, you need to act the part
Mm.
and
Mm.
compromise who you are. So I really like that. So Kwanele, I heard you talk about, your sister, your brother, and like your family being your support system, and at the same time being the boss of your business and your team and the people that report to you in order to make your business successful. How do you manage your business life and your personal life? How do you maintain that balance, juggling everything as Guanele the sister, Guanele the daughter, and then we come to Guanele being the boss or Guanele being a
Mm.
partner? How do you juggle all of that? How do you maintain the balance?
I think firstly I've got an amazing job. um,
Of course you do.
Yes.
quite flexible.
Yes.
What was important to me, as I mentioned earlier, was to do something that I love, and
Mm,
also for my work to be structured around my life.
mm,
Mm.
I don't feel overburdened. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I mean, I still
mm,
take my daughter to school, pick up, I cook supper every day. I'm able to
mm,
do those things. Yet I can sit on my laptop till 2 in the morning, to
mm.
and at different times, work gets busy. There are times where we're
Yes.
busy. I mean, we're going into this season now, so it's springtime. There's going to be lots of events coming up,
Events.
interviews, and events to attend. All of those. things. So I plan my my time. I plan my time rather well because I've got the flexibility of working when I need to work, and being able to maneuver certain things around. That really helps. I do spend quite a fair amount of time with my family. Um,
Mm.
work, so I do travel quite a bit, and I make sure that I plan my time. So if I'm going to be traveling, I know that maybe if I'm not going to be in Joburg for 2 weeks, then I know I need to then have all my meetings now, so that I don't have to have
Mm.
it while I'm away and things like that, or move everything line, postpone meetings, whatever the case may be, but just so that I can still be present in my life,
Yeah.
present.
Yeah. Wow, Kwanele. You need to write a book, Siswami, please.
It'll
we,
stick. I'll put it
yes, you need
there.
to write a book
Even
definitely
better.
because it can't just end here. It would be so nice for you to reach like audiences beyond sips and chats,
Mm.
and then you
Mm.
tell them your story, and people can hear this is how how it works. This is how a person can manage. This is how a person can break through in the
Mm.
industry, and also, you don't have to sacrifice our relationships and family time. You can still
Mm.
do it as long as you do something that you love, and it, it revolves around your social space, and your family. It doesn't separate you from who you are and the people you value the most in your life.
Yeah.
So aside from that, like aside from like knowing who you are, not compromising your values, understanding the realness of the business or being in business, and also I think I mentioned something about, like standing up for your values and earning the respect. What other advice would you give to other women who aspire to break into the wine industry, and start their own business? And, as we know, this is like traditionally male dominated. It's a male dominated field. But what kind of advice, even if it's just, just one line that, but it must be so profound that it can stick with someone. But you know what, I can do this. I'm inspired. I can also do it.
It's
Please
probably
share.
profound.
You
You need to do the work.
need to do the
You
work.
need to
Yeah.
do the work. The
Yes.
shortcuts will cut you short.
Mm,
You need to
mm, mm.
learn. Don't just learn the trade. Learn the trade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Read. Read about wine.
Yes.
So many online programs that are offered.
Mm,
You can do it online. You can do it in person. You can volunteer at farms.
mm.
Especially
Wow.
the season. Farms are a lot of the times they're always looking for extra hands, especially
Mm,
of a season. Um, and that's a great time to learn, because you're there at 3 in the morning, you're picking grapes, you're doing all the chores, the physical, the
yeah.
actual experience that you get
Mm,
through that. No one can take that learning from you. No one can
mm,
experience away from you. So do the work, put,
mm.
put in the hours. When I started the business, I didn't know, I didn't have friends in the wine industry. I've got friends in the wine industry now, but in the beginning,
Yes.
I had to watch YouTube videos, do some reading, do
Mm,
that. The learning never stops.
mm, 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 mm.
Learn, the better off you are. You can make better.
Wow. Mm,
My
mm.
one now will be do the work. Learn.
Yes. Yes. Do the work.
Put your
I
back.
just like I really I don't want to say I underestimated, but I just did not expect this
Sure.
interview, this conversation, this episode to be so, what's the word, nourishing mentally. Just like there's
Mm,
so much
mm,
I'm I'm gathering from this entire conversation. I just didn't even think it would be so um, close to home. So I'm really, really grateful for this conversation. And Kwanele, thank you so much for just making us, like, affording us this opportunity to just have a conversation with you. You know, some people simply say, "Oh no, I won't be available at this time," and that's just it. But you
Mm,
went beyond to just make space
mm,
for us. I
mm.
really, really appreciate that, because even that in itself and all that you had to share is so insightful and so inspirational. So thanks.
It's a pleasure. And, I wish you ladies all the best.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Uh,
you so much.
I cannot wait to see all the amazing work you're going to do. I was new in the wine industry not so long ago. So I know I
Mm.
start something. I like to
Mm,
want
Mm,
and have doors slammed in your face and people be
yes.
mm,
not as nice as they can be. Um,
Mm.
mm.
Part for the cause. It's part of the work that you need to do. One day you'll be like, oh,
Remember, my friend, when we started?
hey,
Wait,
man, now
see yo.
Yeah.
and,
what's like
and our first guest speaker, like like it's all the inspiration we also needed ourselves,
right? I'll
we
be
are
back
so grateful for
when
you.
you're celebrating some milestone. I'll come back
Please,
Yes,
and
and
bring,
bring the wine.
yeah,
and
oh,
why you know why? Because I mean, it's sips and chats.
right.
Yes.
Here's another.
By the way, by the way, and I actually wanted to suggest that we have a little toast, and I think
Mhm,
it would be just right if we could have you, Kwanele, just do a toast to
mhm.
anything, one thing, many things. Let's have a toast, and can you please do the honors for us, Kwanele?
Please do what?
Can you do the honors
The
of,
honors.
you
Um,
know,
I'm going to toast to Sips and Chats.
Yes, 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 yes.
I wish you nothing but the best. You got
Mm.
an amazing concept. You've got the personality to do it, and yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys are going to produce. So to Sips and Chats and lots
oh,
of
siyabonga, siyabonga,
Sips and
siyabonga. Thank you so much,
chats.
cheers, ladies.
Thank you so much.
yeah, mercy.
As I
Um, so please, to our listeners, they need to follow us,
Yeah,
and we will also like we've posted your Instagram link on our page so that people can follow you.
yeah.
And yes,
Let's
Ashla, can you
go.
please share the links for them to
Those,
follow
yes.
us on?
Okay. So firstly, follow Khulu Fine Wine. Trust
Hmm.
me, just do yourself that favor. And that's on Instagram at Khulu Fine Wine. Also go to their website, guys. They've got so much information, a variety of wines. They've got activities. They've got, all these experiences. And to just show how good their product is, they have a whole waiting list. And they even give you a
Yes,
warning
yes.
on the website, Uguti,
On the
expect to
website.
wait because we have that much demand. So do yourself a favor, guys. Go to www.kululuxury.com. As for us, keep following us on our Instagrams. That's at sips_chats. On X, we're at sips_chats91. We're also on TikTok,
Mhm.
sips and chats, or sips.chats_91, and YouTube, Sips and Chats with Connie and Ursula. And yeah,
Ursula.
there's a lot coming. Thank you so much, Gwanela, for the toast. It touched me here. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate
Thank you so much, Kwanele, for your time, and yeah, all the best to you, Sisi. And it's all the way to the top from here.
it. Hundreds.
Siyakula, we are growing. You are growing in your business. We want it shouldn't be just local, but let it be international.
It's
You know,
going.
you must be there, like interviewed in international channels as well,
Yeah.
and keep inspiring these young girls who are listening to you, and young women out there who think maybe it's too late, or I have a child, it's too
Mm,
late. Auntie, no, it's not. It's
mm.
not. It's just a matter of actually getting your mindset, in that space, which I'm gonna do it. And yeah, that's it from us. Siyabonga for your time as well. Siyabonga, and cheers. Bye bye. Lots of love.
Thank
Bye bye. Thank you.